my name is Renuka, and today we are making these cards. You can use this for ATC or a cluster or a top of your greeting card, or you can just make tags out of it. So we will use many techniques in this, as well as the stamps which I carved before. If you don't watch that video, I'm gonna put that video in the description. So let's get started. I'm using here Artist Loft watercolor paper. You can use whatever watercolor paper you have, and we're gonna start with the simple color blob on it. This is a not very expensive paper, and in my palette I'm using watercolors from Winsor Newton Cotman series, but you can go ahead and do this technique with anything you have in your stash. Which side of the paper I'm going to use, I will use which side. Like, I'm not getting a grid sketch here for my, I'm just adding blobs of colors here. Okay, you can choose your color palette. You can go ahead, go with the smoother colors, green colors if you don't like warm colors, and just make small big circles. Nothing fancy, just make small and big circles. And if the colors are mixing together, they are good. Now you can see the color quality is good, but the paper quality is not that good, so it is not giving me that effect. But I want to show you, so I'm using this paper also. Sometimes for the practice or other kind of things, I use this paper. I don't like it much, but yeah, sometimes it works for me. Okay, whatever, if you don't have a mop brush, use whatever brush you have. Just make sure that it is the biggest one you are using. Try to mix the colors, and then if you can see that blobs and things, that's going to give a really nice effect, so don't worry about that. And you can add these kind of other colored blobs, they're going to bloom. You can put the salt on them, and that will also give you a nice effect. You can do color on color, like this color on the same color blob. You can go ahead with the contrast and do. Now sometimes, now here you can see they are dried, so I will not get that blooming of the colors there, but it will get the dots, and it's totally fine whatever you are getting. You are just playing with the colors, so nothing right and wrong in that. Now whenever you're getting the muddy colors, just wash your brush, grab the color. So now I can make it really happening, and putting all the colors around it. Like, you can put all of the colors you can see in your palette, and it will give a rainbow color thing. Okay, and I will show you on this yellow and basically other colors that if I put the salt, how they're gonna react together. And salt give a really nice textures to them. This side we don't have something, so we're gonna put something here. But make sure whenever you're putting the salt there is enough water, so that salt can absorb that enough water. Okay, so I have this kind of rock salt kind of stuff with me, and I'll just put that here, there. Okay, and if you feel that will not absorb the water properly, just spritz it with the water again. Now this is the fine mist. This is not a very, it's a fine mist. Okay, and we're gonna keep it just like that. So now you can see that I already have one paper where I can see the blooms of the salt coming out, and these are all the salt crystals I used before that. So if you see, most of them are dried, but some of them not. So I'm gonna just keep them, let them dry for a time, and then we will use that, and I will show you. So after that, I just scrape it with any hard surface you have. You can use the scraper, you can use the credit card or hotel card, anything you have with you, and that gonna work, and that will give you a really nice smooth surface, because when you rub with the hand or a sandpaper, some granules will be there. Now here I'm just dividing them and cutting them. This is, in this point you can divide them and cut them in the perfect ATC size cards or tags. Here I'm trying to use the full paper, 9 by 12, and my main idea is showing and mixing the colors all together, that how they look. So I'm just dividing it equally in the part, and you can draw a pencil line if you want, and then just do it. It's totally depend on which size of your size of paper you're using. Now these are the fluorescent colors, and I really like them. They have very vibrancy of the things. So particularly this card, I don't have anything, so I add this color, although it's a little bit offset from that whole vibe of the color palette, but that gonna mingle all together. Here I'm using the dagger brush. I really love to add dagger brush strokes, because it's very easy and simple to do. And then here you don't have to use this, you can just go ahead and use the same color palette you already use in. Now we created these are the background things and they're having really nice things on going on this blooming effect, and we add these pop of color flowers, so you can do all of them with that way. Or what you can do, you can just stamp on them with the black color, or you can write down thank you or happy birthday or whatever you want, and you're ready to go. You can choose any color combination you want. I did my stamp carving. I hope I didn't put the video yet, I don't know. So these are the stamps I made, and I want to create some kind of effect with them, and I will show you how I'm going to use them. So these are the stamps. If you don't want that, watch that video, I'll suggest you go ahead and watch that video where I have these stamps, and these are my reference things with these stamps. And we can go ahead and do this. I'm going to use backside of this paper. That's okay with me. And here I want to use a really prominent one, so I can use the black color or brown color or something like that, and or I can go ahead and choose. So better the brighter color gonna pop on it. So that's my plan. I don't know which color should I use, and then or I can use this Shiro hues, and that will be the fun. I think that will be the fun because it's having all of those colors, multicolor. And I'm just gonna press this here. Nice. And then I'm gonna pick it up. You can see all those lines here, and I'll just stamp, and you can see that I get that beautiful impression. So these are not only the tags, you can create these kind of stuff for your mixed media art also. Maybe I can use those panels in my mixed media art also. And this is done. I don't want much on that, particularly that color. And then I can use this one also. Okay, I'm pressing really hard and nice, and then I'm gonna put it just like that. It's not getting that much impression, but I'm okay. I'm just mixing the colors here, and then I'm just putting them in the random places, so I'll get that kind of impression going on. But if you see these stamps, they are kind of I make them go together, so you'll get that kind of impression. Now particularly this one, I just want to show you different options how you can use the stuff you make. So I'm choosing here VersaFine. I need to refill my Memento, and I'm gonna put this nice black stamp on it, just like that. It's very vibrant. Now you can see, yep, it is getting nice. And then I can put a couple of the same things. Now I can create a kind of circle here if I want, and it will give me the reverse imaging, something like that. And that is also looking awesome. And I'm gonna add few of these ghost stamping to fill up those spaces. That is also giving me a really nice abstract thing going on there. Okay, so I want to show you one more trick here. So I created this kind of flowery kind of stamp, and if you have an archival ink, that will work better with this one. Don't have, I'm planning to purchase them. And now I'm gonna put just this stamp all over again. I don't have that roller tool, but I have this which I use with my Misty, and I think it will work also. And then I'm gonna just flip. You can see that how beautiful that abstract kind of thing happened there. You can just punch a hole there, write bunch of sentiments just like this we did on the previous video, and you will get a different tag. But these are getting so much beautiful than I thought, and I thought that I will use these for the more kind of mixed media art project, I think. And then most of the times you have these kind of small stuff which is the leftover from the piece of the art you cut, and I just carved them also. So you can put them on the bottle cap. I'm planning to put them in the bottle cap, and then you can just stamp them. You can see how fun it is that. And then this one, first of all, I thought I should create a kind of eye drop kind of shape. I want to do that, and I didn't do that. And for particularly this one, I want something in different color. So maybe I'll go with the red one. This is the Distress ink. Use mix and match of the inks that give you a really different effect. And then I'm just stamping 3 of them here. One is kind of overlapping on them. And so you can see the texture, what's going on. And it's fun. So if you have these kind of stuff, don't throw them. You still can use them for the things. And if you are a mixed media artist, you want that small stuff going on around. You don't have to cut the space like this one. I don't want to cut this one in any shape. I like whatever shape it's left with. So I can use that also. Like if I put these, I can create a kind of flowery kind of shapes all together. If you didn't watch that video, I suggest you should go ahead and watch that video also, where I create these stamps and show how they are working together. And here I think I need something more, so maybe I'll just stamp this one. So now I already stamped it, I didn't re-ink it, so I will get little bit of ghost kind of print there, and you can see how beautiful it's turning. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix and match my inks and stamps and speed up a little bit of process. So mostly I'm using here a black ink because it is giving me that kind of a contrast. And sometimes I do the ghost printing also like I did here. So I have tone and tone effect, and that leftover piece is giving me, I can create with that triangle, the flower, the leaves. Now I'm just showing these two leaves, what you can color in between. I mean stamp in between. Doing mix and matching the things give you a very different kind of look. Now here you can use this stamp as a petal, but as well as you can make a row or a line of it, maybe vertical. I made it inclined, and then you can still stamp something like that. So here I'm just putting a little bit of water on that, spritz it so that you will get a little bit of different look altogether. And I'm using here a distress ink, and where I'm putting the water, it gonna activate that granule, and it is give me kind of color kind of effect. So that is also awesome. I made these stamps and you can see the videos of it. Now all of them I'm spritzing the stamp ink, then you can see that how beautiful I get that look. I already used that paper for making Teachers Day, I think tags, gift tags. So I don't have that thing with me, but everything else you can see at the end of the video. So here I'm just using this shimmery paint to add little bit interest and splatter on it. You can totally skip this process, but these small things add many things and interest to your project, so you can do that. I'm just using all these cards, and maybe I'll make another cluster with them or layering with them. I didn't decide what I want to do with them. I just want to create and play on that day. So I created this day, and then when I put it them all together, I thought, oh, after putting, I should add more fodder to them. So these are just the hand drawn leads and patterns. And I'm just adding them. Now here's the thing, you can stitch them with the sewing machine with the black thread or dark brown or dark green, olive green thread, or it's gonna give you a really vibrant effect. This time I will not do that. I skip that process and I want to do something else. So first of all, I'm just using Yoo-hoo glue sticks to add them. I'm just using this one of the Homecom set came magazine came to home, and so that I can protect my surface. You can go ahead and use liquid glue also, whatever glue you have. Just make sure that it is quite enough to hold the whole project. And then I'm just putting them. So here I saw what is the background and which gonna look good in them, and I don't want to ruin that background. Same time I want to give them a focal point, as well as I don't want to cover whole space around them. So here in this, like, I choose the biggest one which is having more white space, so I'm trying to balancing out the things here. And you can mix and match and see which is going great all together and do that. Now after putting these, I just want to put these sentiments on them. So before starting that and speeding up the process, I want to show you, this is the size of the ATC. If you watch my ATC thing, so you can cut down with this size, which is 2.25 by 3.5. You can cut down this size. I'm not creating ATCs with this, so I'm gonna skip this option. I make this template, and you can see that video also where I make my first ATC card. But you can see that you can draw the line around it, and maybe you can cut these cards same way as it is. But other thing is for the stamping, you can use these kind of stamps. I don't know, this is from Kesar Craft. Okay, so you can put explore, admit, this font dream, or these are from I think Woodcraft. You can use these also, saying love, inspire, create, and you can keep it blank also. But I'm not getting my stamp. If you have these kind of stamps where you can just add a more texture to it, then oh, this one is small, then you can use it, and you can make borders around it, something like that. If you don't want to stitch, or you can use your Sharpie and make a stitch line. I'm giving here options. Or what else you can do, you can create a different kind of photographs, and you can use those. You can use tin holes also. Sometimes I love to use my personal one. This is little bigger than what I thought, but you can do that also. So for finishing this up, I will speed up a little bit of process. I just stick them all of them together, and now I want some kind of black border all around it. I will not use any stamp. I think I should use a Sharpie, and that's it. You can choose these kind of three options. For these, all of these three, they having the different length, width. This is Arteza, and this is acrylic marker. This is Sharpie. You can get a small Sharpie also, and this is a normal pen, just like a color pen, and which is kind of very thin. You can use your microns pens also for this kind of stuff, like these ones, and you can use those also. But basically what I'm doing here, I'll show you. I have this nib. This is from the Speedball, and I'm planning to use this nib with the black ink, and I want to get a very thin and fine line. So it's just that there is a one circular kind of thing. You have to put your nib inside and then it's ready to go. You will get lots of different kind of nibs in this will fit in this one. The circular will fit in circular one, and this round shape, there are two round shape. I buy the drawing pen set. There are very different kind of variation in this. I bought from mine from Amazon, and then I can put one of these here. They're having numbers and names also, and then rest of it I can put in the small box. So I have this small box which came with my this art glitter glue, and I'm gonna put, I think, this perfect size to fit in, and I'm gonna put it in my drawer. And for this I will use the Speedball black ink, which I already have. Try to take a something kind of a deeper in thing rather than flat, and then you are ready to start. Now two things: you don't want something like flat because your nib will not go. Best thing is you may have those small cup, plastic cup measuring cups, and you can take that. I'm using here, I didn't found that, so I'm using here this one is from one of the cough syrup of the kids, and I'm gonna use it. And then I'm just poking a hole inside. So I have this ink, and I'm gonna put it. If you have a small kind of container, which small things like very little one, then that will be fine. I'll show you one if I have. Okay, so if you have that kind of small container, then you can put your ink after using in that. So let's start one by one. First I'll take this one, and I'm just choosing the small one to see how it works, and it works beautifully, and it holds more ink. Like from this go, you can see I didn't dip my pen again. And if you take the cheaper one, then these will not go that long. So I think invest in the best one, because I have cheaper ones also. I bought them from the local market, and I think that is not working the way I want. So you can see. So keep that thing in mind. I think these are not that much expensive also, and you can see how this needs work. Okay, and you can create these kind of any kind of stuff, and you can create a small stuff also to add more fun in this image. Now if I want, I can add a small line details. Now, you can do these things from micro paints also, as I told you before, but believe me, this will give a really different kind of effect, and I really like how it turned out. And maybe I will not do all the leaves, I will just do few leaves, and I will speed up the process, and I will show you these leaves also. One more thing I want to show before speeding up the process: this is the jumbo correction pen I bought from the basic pen from the Amazon. But this is such a nice white pen that you can add a bit of the interest in your things, and believe me, it's a really nice one. And I'll show you the different one. Like this one, if I want to add little details here, like maybe few dots, something like that, then it is really nice to add. You can add little bit dash lines also, like if I want to add these kind of lines. And this is not a perfect replacement for the white jelly pen you use, or white any white pen you use, but this is it should be handy if you want to, you know, do something with it. So I will speed up the process now. So then I decided to add more details to them with the nib pen, as well as you can, if you don't have nib pen, you can use directly your paintbrush also for doing these kind of stuff. I just want to show you the different options and how they work together. So these are lost in the background, and I want them to go with the proper contrast and creating that. And here I'm just trying to use different kind of stuff. So whenever you have a new product, if you do these kind of stuff, first of all you will get the idea that how that product gonna work on the thing. And here I'm cleaning it, so I use a rag as well as the water to clean it. I don't want to dry that ink on that nib, so the next time whenever I want to use, I can use it. You can use this nib for other work also, rather than black one. You can use your inks, acrylic inks or watercolor inks, to create these kind of textures on them. Here I'm just adding the border all around them. You can use your micron paints also, but these are very fine and thin. So or you can use the, if you have the rotary pen, you can use those also. And then I'm just making different kind of marks on it, and that way I get an idea that how this nib work, as well as I'm practicing the movement of the nibs, that how it gonna work for me. So if I want to do a really fine detailed project, and this is the when this nib is not working, because maybe the colors on that thing is like too much that my nib working stop there. So this is the another thing to consider. You don't want to ruin your nib. And then I use different marks cause I want my hands get different kind of movement with this ink, that how can I create a dot or how can I create these things. And you can do this with any other product. Here I'm showing the one way of doing it, but you can use the any other product. Same way you will get your tags or etc cards or front of your greeting cards done, or any project you're done, and then whenever you want to do them in a final really artistic project, you can easily know that how it gonna move the ink and how you have to move your hand with any product, the paintbrush, the pens, the markers, or any kind of different kind of pencils you are using. So that is the easiest way to add them. Now here I decided to add that kind of stitching where mostly I use in sewing, that first the straight stitch and then the zigzag one. So I'm just mimicking this. By the way, if you don't have this, there are nowadays stamps also where you can get all these borders. You can buy them from scrapbook.com. I just saw them there. I didn't buy them, but go ahead and see the borders and scrappy lines, and you will get this kind of fun stuff going on, maybe in Dina Weekly also. So you have to just search if you don't want to do. Sometimes I just want to see every project very differently. So I use that. This border I mostly use to making my rangolis, and then I decided to use that. Rangoli is a Indian traditional kind of drawing which you use the white paint or white powder, and you draw in front of your door to, welcome the god and your guest. So then I'm just enhancing those backgrounds which is already there, and kind to try to make every time a different kind of mark making here, so that you will get a different idea. I speed up this process because there is nothing much to tell, but the same time you can see and use these kind of marks on you, or you can just make these kind of marks on a one paper as a sampler, so that whenever you want to do you can use and repeat them. So these are the products I use. Now I have still some leftover ink, and basically I want to darken some space and add different kind of thing to the project, which is like a bigger marks. Still I using the zero brush. This is a very cheap brush, it's not much more. And for the inks and other things, don't use your watercolor brush. I have different set of brush where the cheaper ones I use for anything like this, and particularly for the watercolor brush I don't use them from any other medium rather than gouache. So because gouache is like a little bit of watercolor. So here I'm just adding little bit more marks to little bit more interest, to balancing out the things wherever I feel that it's not balancing. I'm just adding that broad mark with this brush. Be careful with the ink whenever you are doing. You don't want to do it so hurriedly. I'm just speeding up process so you see it's faster. So these are my cards. I'm very happy. I didn't put any stamp of them, like any stamp like saying or words or something like that. So these are the versatile I just want to use whenever I want to use them, and I gonna stamp at that moment if I'm using that tags for happy birthday or etc cards, or I just want them to the top of the greeting card. Maybe I'll make that video or not, but these are the stuff, fun stuff you can do to explore your mediums and explore your hand, how they are moving, and sometimes with the colors also. I hope you like this project. So until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye.